my dungeon.
Welcome to Cauldron's Krypt. I'm your host, Master Cauldron. If you're new to the show, I use my 24 years of BDSM experience and 20 years working in the psychology field to dispel myths, get rid of stereotypes, and answer your questions about BDSM. You can call in at 865-268-4005 to leave your questions or visit the Krypt at cauldronskrypt.com. On this episode of The Krypt, we're hitting those rules to love by, and then we're going to an interview from DomCon LA 2019 with Master Reverend Gear from House RavynBlood and the Kinky AF Podcast and his girl V about their journey and about his podcast. Now, this is a lot different from my usual style of interview, but these are two amazing people and we couldn't stop making each other laugh. But the nuggets of wisdom within this are quite abundant. Rules to love by. Rule number 1, safe, sane, consensual, and informed. Rule number 2, kinky, that's KNKI, and comes from the Kinky app, available on all platforms, but not a sponsor. It does stand for knowledge, no intolerance, kindness, and integrity. And rule number 3, the quote from Mr. Paul Young. Submission is not about authority, and it's not about obedience. It is all about relationships of love and respect. It is Sunday at DomCon Los Angeles 2019. I have before me two amazing people that I've become friends with over the past few days, and one that I've got to know a little bit through some emails here and there, text messages. Part of House RavynBlood. It is Master Reverend Gear from the Kinky AF Podcast and Submissive V.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Let's start off by what was Sir to now Master.
Well, on Thursday, during the opening ceremonies, Master Gabriel got up on stage and brought up Mr. Cyan and started talking about what a master is and what it embodies. And everyone looked up and went, didn't Mr. Cyan cover Master Gabriel? Like, what's going on here? And I had that going through my head. I'm like, what's... No. Wait, no. Sir Gear to the stage. Crap.
And all the
totally
cheers,
got me by surprise.
Right? All the cheers and applause erupts, and you just see him kind of falter backwards a little bit like he's about to have a heart attack. Do the whole I'm coming Elizabeth thing.
But it's been something, I haven't really been working towards, but I've just been wanting to become my own dominant and really kind of go into my own stride of, community service, starting up my podcast, teaching, being a positive influence on the people around me. And apparently that combination of things was enough to have Master Gabriel decide that I was worthy of the cover.
And even as you sit here now, the expression just says, still not really grasping the fact that this has happened. And
it'll take a while.
And I guess as was said, because I was there, I got to witness this amazingly beautiful ceremony take place, that what Master Gabriel said with, earning the right and continuing. And I know when we talked about it, when I interviewed him for the household back a few months ago, it was that was one of the specific questions that I had was about earning your cover. And he pointed out that it is always going to come, or in his opinion should always come at a time when it is unexpected. And it's not something that you're asking for, because if you're asking for it, then you're wanting it for the wrong reasons.
I agree.
And yeah, so it was your shock, I think, is perfect. It's awesome. So, V, how do you feel about this?
I'm super proud of my sir. Oh my goodness. He has been busting his butt day in, day out. Like there are times where I'm sitting there going, sir, there's a magical word. It's called no. You don't have to do all these things. He's like, no, it's for the community. I'm doing all these wonderful things.
I'm going to do the thing.
I'm like, okay, sir, but you voluntold me now, because wherever you go, I go. I guess we're doing the things. Yay!
We're going on an adventure.
It's a crazy one, but we love it.
Voluntold. Yes. Oh, that tends to happen a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially with us S-types. Where the Dom goes, we just kind of follow.
Yep. Follow the leader, the leader.
So let's talk about Kinky AF.
Please.
What is it that your goal of the show? I know you just kind of brought it up a little bit, but how long have you been doing?
We just finished season 1 this week. So next Friday is going to be season 2, episode 1, DomCon LA 2019.
And how long is the season?
The season was 49 episodes out of 52 weeks. I only missed 3 weeks. I think I'm okay with that.
I think it took me 2 years to get 52.
That's what happens when you release one every Friday morning.
Yeah. I tried there for a while and I did really well, but I'm just like, nope, every 2 weeks, and then Patreon, I'll release one every week, which is a play journal.
There you go.
But no, I commend those of you podcasters that can actually put out that every Friday episode.
It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of late nights too. It's like, crap, I forgot, I got to do this. I'm like, okay, go do it. 3 o'clock in the morning. You done yet? Yeah, I'm ready for bed. Okay.
That one thing that just is stubborn and will not edit the way you want to edit is like, you mother.
Oh, yeah. So, how long have you two been in a dynamic?
In a actual dynamic, that's kind of hard to put a finger on that pulse, because we've been together now 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And during that time, part of our household requirements is any sort of brand new relationship, there needs to be a certain level of consideration period and training and growth before you enter into a dynamic. So I know that I collared her June of 2018. And that's also when I proposed.
Yes.
Because it was about time.
Well, it's hilarious because everybody was like, I thought you guys were already married. No, we weren't.
So the wedding, you said, will be next month?
October.
Oh, October.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So some other good friends of ours are getting married next month.
So you do have a little bit of time.
A little bit. Yeah.
We still have some time. I think we're ahead of the game, though, because V is just very, I'm going to do a thing. It's like, okay, all right.
I'm a DIYer bride.
Oh, goodness. Well, jumping back, I just had to ask that because it is early morning here, Krypters at DomCon for me, though it's probably nearly noon on the West Coast. It's, no, not awake yet. So this one, yeah, we're going to jump back and forth and have a little fun.
All righty.
All right, let's go back to Kinky AF.
Okay.
So when you started it, what was your goal?
I wanted my podcast to be in 3 parts. I wanted it to be educational. I wanted it to be fun and, entertaining. And I wanted it to be educational. So informative, educational, and fun. That's what it is. Because educational and informative sometimes are 2 separate things. I want to make sure that people know of the events that are going on, of the different groups they can join. I also want it to be educational because we've had panels before. We've had people talk about what is TNG, what is MX, all these other things. And a lot of questions are coming into my podcast where I don't have the answer. Like, what is the difference between a pup or an animal player and a furry? I'm like, I know people, but I can't tell you. Let me interview them real quick. And I try to make it fun because, if you're not having fun with it, and I don't think anyone will listen to me just go, so yes, Flogger has falls on it, and yeah, and
you hit people with it and go bam 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 bam.
See, that's getting back into the fun though. Bam bam bam.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I've listened to your podcast.
I am a little dry at times.
No, but it's still, it's also kind of about the voice. If it's like, okay, so, and then if it's nasally and it's breathy, I can't listen to it. But I like your voice. Yeah, if Darth Vader had a podcast.
That sound I'm totally cool with. I'm good with that. I would sploosh all day long with that voice read.
Careful, she's gonna blow.
Sploosh.
Not without permission, V. Not without permission. But yeah, my podcast, I've just wanted to have fun with it. It's mainly an excuse for me to get out there and continue learning myself. Mm-hmm. Because in the first season, I've gone to San Diego, San Francisco, Las Vegas, New Orleans, just trying to find things that I didn't know before and interview them and kind of learn it myself. So thanks to all my listeners for making me learn stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same here. 24 years at the time when I started. I guess I was 21 years into this crazy lifestyle we live. And I mean crazy in the best of ways. But with all of the questions that have come in over the time, that's where probably the majority of my education has come from. And it's crazy. Like a lot of the old guard questions, which, yeah, I knew a lot about it, but or at least I thought I did. But especially with one gentleman that I got to sit down and talk to yesterday that founded, what was it, Olympia?
Oh, Olympus Leather?
Olympus Leather.
Wow,
yeah,
awesome.
In 96, I believe he said, or 86. And that interview will be coming out soon as well. But yeah, I mean, that was just phenomenal. So now, V, how much participation do you take in the show?
Not a whole lot. This is really Sir's baby. I was his guest on like the second or third episode. What's the fourth? I don't know. Whichever one it was on behavior modification, because that's all my jam. And then like lately with the last couple of episodes, I've jumped in and been kind of like a co-host, having fun with it. But for the most part, this is Sir's baby. Like he's the one that is amazing and he's networking with all these people and getting them to come in for the interviews. He's the one spending countless hours doing the editing and the sound mixing and everything else. I mean, the opening intro, we worked on that together, just goofing off, being silly with the microphone, going, I wonder how good this sounds. Oh, it's amazing. Yes. We have to have this in there and that in there and this and that. But really, that's the extent of it. And then like I'm more, moral support. So while he's working away at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, trying to make sure the episode gets posted, I'm there. Sir, would you like your tea? Are you hungry? Do you need a snack?
So yes, bring me a Twinkie. This sucks.
I need a Twinkie. Oh man.
But V has been definitely a huge encouragement for me because, I do the podcast out of like a labor of love and everything. But again, sometimes, I'll be sitting there and it's not coming together. I'll start kind of questioning my own message or things like that. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I should just delete this whole episode and go, sorry, folks, technical difficulties. And she's like, sir, no.
It's like, sir, you know how you said I'm in charge of your well-being and your health? That includes your mental health. So no, you're not doing that to yourself.
Yeah, that is a very common thing. Podcasters of the world unite, because that is one of the biggest problems that we have with all of the conferences that I go to over the past 3-4 years. And that seems to be one of the biggest issues that we face is imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
One that I posted that I did re-record. I got some negative feedback on it, Sam.
Well, on that then.
Yes.
There's always that, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You just got done. You're exhausted mentally and physically. And then that little evil voice in the back of your head goes, that's really not that good.
Yeah.
You want to delete that. That's when you tell the voice to shut up because it's lying to you.
Yeah.
And then if you can't do it, that's when you go to your sub. You're like, baby, tell me to stop being silly. Like, stop being silly, sir. I love you. Leave it alone. It's good.
Sabi, I need you to top me from the bottom like I taught you to.
Yeah, so long as it's negotiated. You know?
Exactly.
Special dynamic. I'm responsible for his mental well-being. So I'm the one who steps in going, sir, remember you told me this is my job. I love you. I'm not topping you. I'm doing my job that you told me to do.
I'm not trying to dom you, but.
In a world where subs top from the bottom, we have Master Reverend and V.
I would be the ruler of that world.
Wait, you're on the right side of the slash, and he's like,
yeah, but we're the ones that are used to getting stuff done. So just let me get the stuff done.
Exactly. Always educational, and that's my point. Thank you. So, how long have you lived the lifestyle?
This is my 10th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Decade.
It went by pretty quick, actually. And V?
Mine, like, if you go chronologically, I really got involved in the scene about 10 years ago as well. But I popped out of the scene for a couple of years, so I don't have quite the longevity that Sir does.
Yeah.
But, you know, about 8 years if you're not counting, you know, that 2 years that I stepped away. Because, you know, I was in a relationship where the guy was like, oh my God, you're into kinky stuff? That means yours. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
And what's wrong with that?
Dude, nothing. But I needed to learn that for myself, apparently.
Have you read The Ethical...
I have read bits and pieces of it, yes. But yeah, no, it just, so yeah. 8 years being really involved and, you know, being with Sir, and he was already so involved before he and I started dating. And so I just kind of went where he went. And I'm like, oh, we're doing all these things. People know me now. That's weird. I'm just going to keep doing the things.
So were you already hanging out with Master Gabriel at this point?
Yes. So the first year I kind of floated around. I had a mistress for a while. That didn't work out. And then I remember bumping into Master Gabriel a couple times. The first time I actually met him and bonded with him, it was my birthday. We were at Passive Arts before it turned into Sanctuary LAX. And I was mummified and on the floor, and people were trying to, you know, give me my birthday spankings. Because I had the saran wrap, my jeans, my underwear, I wasn't feeling anything. And I was just being a total brat going, ha, 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 I don't feel shit. Ha, ha, ha. And that's when Master Gabriel kind of pokes his head in and goes, mind if I join in? I'm like, yeah, come on, bring it. Bring it. What you got? And he brought it.
He always does.
He did a couple test strikes first. I'm like, ha, I don't feel anything. And then he does like this knee drop, like superhero landing, smack with like a hardwood paddle. And it just travels through everything, out my front side, into China. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, what was that?
Out the front, into China.
Didn't you also break it?
That was later on.
Oh, that was later on.
He's like, all right, this is my scene now. Bam, 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 bam. And all of a sudden, the whole room just goes quiet. And I hear like this whistling sound and a few gasps. I'm like, what happened? And I kind of turn my head over. And Sir is now holding a broken hardwood paddle, gorgeous hardwood paddle. And I immediately go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, no, dude, you've got a magical axe. You broke a hardwood paddle.
Now, mind you, this magical axe is now the quality control tester for all of RavynBlood Leather's toys to make sure that it will withstand the magic. If it doesn't break on his butt, it's good to sell to the public.
It's kind of like that scene with Mr. Impossible, and he's fighting the robot, and the robot keeps upgrading. It was kind of like that. And one of my favorite times, we were getting ready for a scene, a performance, and he's in his kitchen, and he pulls out like a cake spatula. So he walks up and goes, hey, Gear, does this hurt? And he just taps it on my shoulder. And the thing, I swear to God, breaks. And he goes, oh, I needed that. I'm like, sorry. So now whenever I get hit with anything, it's like, ow, is that okay? If I get hit by a car, I'm probably going to dent the car more than it's going to dent me, I swear.
Accurate.
So how was it for you being thrown into the mix?
It was actually pretty cool. Like when Sir and I first started dating, there was no House RavynBlood. It was just hey, I want you to meet this really cool guy. He's like a mentor to me. I love working with him. So Sir took me to Sanctuary, and we met Master Gabriel. At that time, it was still Sir Gabriel. And we all just really hit it off. We became really good friends right away. And at that time, Master Gabriel was still putting on Thirst, which was his club night at Sanctuary. And so everything was a big theatrical production. And I have a theater background. I was a techie. And so I was like, oh my God, I can help with all this. So I was always helping him come up with the new banners and the flyers, decorations for the different themes and stuff. And then about 3 or 4 months later, it was, so I think we're going to like officially do a thing. And that's when he presented both of us with our house cuffs and we're a House RavynBlood now. Yeah. All right, sweet. And that's how it got started. But I have learned so much through all of this. I have learned what I enjoy, what I don't like. I have learned what people I enjoy being around and what people I can graciously say. I've learned a lot of grace and humility in this role, because before really diving into my submissive side, I was that like alpha. It was no, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. I was always used to being in charge, running the show, getting stuff done the right way. But, taking on the right
Often
side.
When people say the right way, they just mean their way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I clearly knew best at age 22, 23. Like all wonderful 20-somethings. But I was able to learn all of these beautiful lessons because of the scene, because of the people that we engaged with, the people that took us under their wings and kind of went, it's not a good way to live life, because now you're making everybody around you miserable. And that makes you miserable. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Well taught. Yes.
Oh, sometimes the obvious is just fleeting, isn't it?
Right? Like, I don't know. I didn't see it before because people were too scared to tell you. Oh, my bad.
Oops. Yep. All right. Well, unfortunately, we got to wrap it up because you are in charge of the stage here at the vendor hall.
Stage.
I am so grateful for your time with me and the fun, the laughter, the friendship, and look forward to many years of it.
Oh, yes,
absolutely. Please. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Bye.
And now something very special. It is the speech that was given by Master Gabriel when presenting Master Gear with his cover.
A master is not a master because they've reached the end of their studies. A master is a master because they understand there is no such end. And receiving a master's cover is no small endeavor. In our household, we have a saying, one does not earn a master's cover. One earns the right to wear a master's cover. And that means you must continue to earn that right in your words and actions. Earning the right to wear a master's cover shows you embody the ideals of community service, personal growth, hard skills and knowledge, respect for yourself and others. A master has a balance of pride and humility. A master is both a teacher and a student. And that said, I would like to bring forward Sir Gear. I have long watched Sir Gear work on himself and his dynamic, always striving to push through doubt and fear to be a better version of himself. Over the years, he has passed through the flames of valuable lessons, like locking me out of a room, and he has passed along what he's learned to others, like how not to lock Master Gabriel out of a room. He has learned about himself, what makes his core, what kind of person he wants to be, what he stands for. And then he did the most difficult thing anyone can do. He did something with that knowledge. He took on guidance and self-exploration to mold himself into the man you see today. And I am so very proud of him. Sir Gear, I see all of this in you, in your manners and your actions. And it is my great honor to bestow upon you the title, Master.
And that's going to do it. Thank you for listening to this episode and all the others. You can find show notes at cauldronskrypt.com/218. If you're finding value in the show, please go to the show notes, click on the Patreon link, or go to cauldronskrypt.com/support. And you can be one of the show producers like Pro Producer, who wishes to remain anonymous, executive producers Jeremiah, Jess, Arcane DGR, and Violet Aurelia, Feline Rouge, Baby Love 2269, and Faisal. Senior producers Matt, Emerald Wolf, JK, Queen Sage, Sort Out the Kinks, Delilah, Sir Mutual Respect, and Master Gabriel. Producers Kane Sin, That Place in Oklahoma City, Roxy Bear, Olive Eyes, Zine, and Alexandria. Junior producers K2SO, Buffalo Dom 84, Leisumi, and Haley. Also, a huge thank you to BDSMcontracts.org for their donation of their beautiful 25-page soft and hardbound MS and DS contracts. You can find them at BDSMcontracts.org. Use coupon code Cauldron20, that's KULDRIN20 for a 20% discount on all purchases. Daycollars.com, a place for your personalized handmade collars, leashes, cuffs, and belts. You can find them at daycollars.com. And finally, Whipping Stripes, my personal maker of all things leather and paracord impact toys. None of these companies contribute to the show. These are people that I personally use and love. Next time on the Krypt, we're talking with Master Phoenix about a lifelong career in rope. In the meantime, make sure to check out Master Reverend Gear's podcast, Kinky AF. There are links to that in the show notes. All of my contact information is in the show notes as well, or at cauldronskrypt.com. This has been Master Cauldron, Master Reverend Gear, and V for cauldronskrypt.com. Unearth the truth.